So we're going to get started with our second day phase and getting that going, which is flipping all these guys over and getting them ready to start divvying them out to their tasks. Before we do that, though, I wanted to go ahead and clear up one of the mistakes I found when I was actually doing the editing for the last set of videos that I did. I think it was during the night phase, and this might have even happened when I was playing through the prologue. And essentially what I was doing, I was making a big error, and when I would, let's say, roll for their dice pool, I was saying, okay, we'll use this one for their movement, and then we move this group up to their speed limit, which was 4. I finished that out, and then I did some actions, and then I said, okay, well, I still have some leftover action points here for an action or for a dice that I hadn't used. So I says I'm just going to go ahead and move them again, basically doing another move action, 2 spaces, which would have brought them over their speed limit that they can do for the group. I was interpreting. I can't even really say that word right. As basically, the speed limit meant they can only move that amount in a single move action, but they could perform multiple move actions. That was cleared up. There was some FAQ, and it was just me not reading the rules correctly. So I'm hopefully going to get that correct from now on, which, however much movement a squad does in a single round, cannot exceed their speed limit, and we've gone over and talked about that several times, what the speed limit is. So with that, we're going to go ahead and start flipping these guys over and getting them ready for the day phase. Alright, so we'll flip Kenny over, and these tokens are going to stay with them. And then once we've flipped over, we'll see if anybody has completed their day task before we assign, and then see if there's anybody that we can possibly look at completing their objectives for their group. So now we can get Erica back, because hers is we can bring her back at the beginning of the day phase. Alright, so objective for Kenny is survive the night of combat with one of the Mourner girls in your squad at her max health. Alright, well, we have Summer here is at an 8, and she has a, well, actually, she's, for some reason, I must have bumped that because she's at a health of 7. She should actually be 7. But we didn't take any wounds, if you recall, from the combat for our first night. So we actually have one of the Morngors in the squad at her max health. So the reward is 2 victory points for the blue squad, so 1, 2, and we've completed the objective for Kenny Maurer. Summer's objective is successfully complete a challenge in the south scavenging zone. Alright, so this may tell us we might want to go to the scavenging zone, and it looks like we'll be able to pick that since the first player is the blue squad, and they'll be able to assign the first person over to the scavenging. Objective for Dave is defeat the lieutenant mutate. Not even on the board, so we can't really do anything with that. This one is build a lookout tower for the objective, so we'll look into that. This one is complete an afternoon step with no survivors in any squad going on. Oh, we've already done hers. Teresa, Colonel Glover's is find the urgent care in the north scavenging zone. Okay, so this squad ultimately wants to go to the north zone, but this one's going to compete and want to go to the south zone to complete that objective. And then our last one, Erica, is activate the Drifter trait with no other survivors in the squad. Really, we can't do that unless we had no survivors in the squad. Okay, so we can't really complete anybody's objective. We did one, so that was good. We'll try probably for Summer, since we're going to be first up and picking for our scavenging zones there. There was also another thing I wanted to quickly go over. Now, at the last match, I ended, I think it was quite early, I think it was round 4 or the beginning of round 4. Maybe I think it only took me 3 rounds. So I still had like 2 full rounds that I says we're just going to go ahead and have to scrap them because there's really nothing I can do. However, I could have actually done something. I could have gone ahead and rolled for the action pools on each of my squads and then used some of their movement points and such, maybe to go to these search zones here and pick up some additional stuff. However, didn't do that. I'm not even going to go back. I'm just going to say if I ever come across that situation again where I have free rounds to do something, I should have used those to just kind of go out there and search. Alright, so we've got all of our guys set here. So let's see if I can get that focused in on there. Or actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring over so we can get a good layout of what's going on since we're going to be going out and scavenging. Alright, and I'll do it the way I think I should have done it last time, is where I actually assign everybody all their spaces from the get-go instead of like coming back from scavenging and then doing crafting. So we'll go ahead now and we'll set who's going to be going on our scavenging party. We know we still need to work on the truck. Where is the truck crafting card? Alright, the truck is going to be our big one, and we need 2 scrap, 2 gas, 2 technology, I can't remember what that was now, and 13 action points to do that. So we have the bench taken care of, and I don't think we have a lot in the way of stuff. We have some food out there, we have some scrap, but definitely not too close to what we need. This one does have some stuff in their stash over there. Okay, so we'll want to bring them into a place, or I guess we really can't choose. We're kind of rolling random on that. So let's go ahead and assign some people here. So I'm gonna want to take Summer, since first player is blue. Let's take Summer first. She'll be the leader of this scavenging party. Next we'll go to the orange squad and we'll take who's got some good stats. Number 3 has some excellent stats here for combat, but not so good there. So maybe Teresa, she's got some good stats here. So let's go ahead and take her. And if I rest, I'm trying to see here, if I guard with 2 people, then that'll bring it down to a 4. And we're not going to be spawning in any mutates because since the zombies have already passed this space, as the instruction book said, it becomes just a regular numbered space after that point. They would have to get all the way to 10 for us to spawn another mutate on the board. But we can still, I might like to bring that back a little bit, but also keeping some people on the crafting team that are pretty good. So far, Survivor 2 I've taken. Isn't that great on crafting. I took Summer, which doesn't have any crafting. So I'd like to really leave my people here that are good at crafting. So, let's see. Where do I want to assign next? I'd like to have at least a good action pool, and I think taking 3 people with me is a good choice. Who's good on the blue? I would say Kenny has some good stats as far as first aid and talking. Oh, he's only got a 1 there. But he still has something both there. So let's go ahead and take Kenny as our 3rd, and that's the max I'm going to do for scavenging. Crafting, we have this was the last person I chose, so I'm going to have to go from this squad here. This one's a 2. This one is actually a 3, so we'll definitely want to put Marcelina on the crafting team. Blue only has 1 left, but only 1 in not really a great person to take crafting. Actually, all of the people I have left are just a 1. There's not a whole lot I can do, but let's go ahead and do that. If I put Dave on there, I then have 2 left that might go in the guard. That'd probably be good. Let's take 3 and 4 here, and they're going to go on our guard duty. And so that's good. So now what we're going to do is go back to our scavenging, sorry. And we're going to roll a dice. Actually, we've got to pick the zone we're going into. If we remember, we want to try to complete Summer's objective, which is successfully complete a challenge in the South Scavenging Zone. So we are going to go south. All right, the dice we're going to roll for south is a 5. So now we're going to go and check our story booklet here and go to the South Zone. I think the urban scavenging zones we can't do just yet because we haven't done the truck. Is that right? Yeah, we can't do the urban locations until we get the truck finished. So we go to the South Zone, and which is Suburbia School Complex, and we rolled a 5, so we go Principal's Office. All right, so I'm going to read that real quick. Yay, zombies have taken over the planet, and each day is a living their own gun. Woo boy. Alright, so here are our options. Option 1 is to use soothing tones to wrestle that gun away from them, and see if that's a zombie bite while you're at it. Separate survivors each pass the following challenges. Oh wow, so they're all having to pass. Holy moly. Okay, the option 2 is ignore the gun and go for help. Separate survivors each and pass the following challenges. First aid 9 and sneak 10. These were talk, melee, and first aid. Well, we don't want a failure because that's the doom track plus 4. That's going to put us, if we have 2 guarding, that's going to be here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to be 8 zombies we'll have to deal with, instead of 6 if we don't have to move that anymore. Alright, so we'll see what we have the best chance of getting. Okay, somebody has a talk, I think 2. Let me go look at this, that way I don't spend too much time on the camera here and see what we got. I'm gonna say, probably without a doubt, we're gonna try this one here. I like option number 1, and there's really no negatives for going with option 1 over option 2. So we're going to go with that one. So we're going to go ahead and roll our dice pool. So we have 3 people, so that's 6 dice. Man, we need some good numbers. Alright. We have some okay numbers. We have 2 5s, a 4, 2 1s, and a 3. Knock this off a little bit here. Okay, so let's go ahead and stack this up and see where we need to be. Somebody needs to pass a talk 6. Okay, so somebody's going to be using this. That's a 2 dice. A person that can allocate 2 dice to talking. It can't be Kenny, and it can't be Summer, which leaves Teresa Von Shen, which unfortunately will leave her out of the running for first aid, but she's the only one that can make this talk test, since we didn't roll any 6s. Okay, so we're going to leave that with Teresa Von Shen, survivor number 2. I'll put that over here by the tokens, make it a little easier to see. The next one we need to see if passed is melee 5. That one may be easy. Let's look at the melee is going to be easy. Let's do the first aid 5. So we'll use somebody. I think they should all have melee. Kenny has a 1. Summer has a 1, or no, 2. So either one of those can do the melee. So can any of them do the first aid? First aid is going to need a 5. Okay, so it looks like Summer can do that one. She has a 1 in first aid, so this one is going to be survivor number 2. Is going to be the first aid person. All right, the next one is melee 5, and we have to use 2 dice for that one, 4, 5, and the only one left in our group is Kenny. He has a 3 in melee, so he can use up to 3 dice So at this point, everybody has successfully completed the challenge that we split them up. Like it said, separate the survivors, each pass the following challenges, and individual task by themselves. So as a group, this one, number 5, was successfully completed. So if it is completed, we'll look at our success. We get 4 resource cards, 2 food cards, and 1 survivor. And then it says reveal cards from the armory deck until you find a firearm. Add that card to the loot. Shuffle the others into the deck and put the doom track +1. Alright, so we'll go ahead and do the doom track here real quick. That's going to go from 6 to 7. Not too bad. Alright, so now let's go get our 4 resource cards, and we'll put those out. Shuffle these up real quick. Okay, so 4 resource cards, so that gives us duct tape, ammo, parts, smokers, or smokes. We need 2 food cards. So that is going to be 1, 2. One is radiated food, vegetables, and the other is just what I need, lunchbox, which is feeds all survivors in your squad. Oh, and each survivor gains a health. Nice. Okay, next we have to draw a survivor. So we're going to go over to our survivor deck and draw from the bottom. We have Frank the Tank. Okay, so we'll put that up there. And the final thing we're going to do as instructed is we're going to go through the armory card until we find a firearm. Okay, found a firearm here, 32 cal revolver. I won't go any further, but this one is also a revolver. So we're going to be adding that to the pile there. So next we are going to divvy out these components. We'll save these 2 for last. We'll start here. Now the squad who gets first pick would be first player, and that will see them go ahead. They're already carrying 3. Now we're coming back from the scavenging and we can carry as much as we want again. I think we've already touched on that topic. We will put the ammo into their carrying right now. We'll put parts here, put duct tape here, smokes, and get the food. Who's the one that can eat the stuff without the problem? We'll put this one here, and we'll go there. Alright, now we have a survivor to get. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of fighting, sort of. That's kind of like a contest. I think it's a talking contest. Okay, so we'll go ahead and allocate our dice pools for that. Now, the first one that gets to... Is it they get to pick the stat they want to go with? Let me look that up real quick. Survivors, the winning player. Okay, so here's how that's going to go. We're going to build the dice pool for each squad, and the squad with the lowest amount of survivors automatically gets 2 action points to their pool. Okay, so we'll go ahead. Let's see, 2, 4, 6. So 6 dice we're rolling in this challenge, or for their dice pool. All right. And let's see, we can allocate 2 dice for the talking test here, Kenny. And I'm not sure, is it 1 or all of them get it? The player with the contest talk. All right, let's do this. General. When a skill is chosen, each player starts the contest by putting their action pool. Players then choose 1 survivor. Okay, it's not all of them. We're choosing one survivor from our squad. Both Kenny and Summer have a 1 in talk, and Dave has a 1. So really the max that they can get is a 5, but they're adding 2 action points because they have the least amount of survivors, so they're at a 7. We're going to go down here and we're going to choose one of our... actually, we don't have to choose at this time, but we can just kind of roll in and see what we get. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Take that one. So we're going to have to remember 7 up there. Okay. To participate, 2, 2, 1, 1. So either one of these 2, and it doesn't really matter because the 2 dice is going to be a 10. And like I said, we're not going to be offering any food or anything. Or maybe. Unfortunately, I don't really have any food to offer without being unable to feed my group. So we might just have to go without the survivor. Now, I do have a chance at this time, since I am recruiting the survivor, to, I think, switch him out for one of my people. And let's see what that is. Let's go to those rules real quick. So what's going to happen is I'm going to say, okay, well, do I want this new guy? And, well, yes, because obviously I fought for him. Okay, so now I can probably do some kind of a little switch out here. And I will switch out Colonel Glover for this guy, Frank the Tank, and Glover will get the shovel, and I will put him over here to number 4. And here we go. And he still has his mutation of psychokinesis. So that is going to complete the survivor portion. So once we do that, we're all back. We're all kind of happy, and we can move on to our next phase here. Our next phase is crafting. All right, we have 2 people in the craft team, which is Marcelina, and 3 is Dave Marcus, okay, from the blue team. So just 2. And I know we do not have the parts we need for Fix the Truck, so we are going to have to continue on without that and probably craft some other things. Which, if we remember, we have these options for crafting. We have sandbags, scrap traps, junk walls. Really don't want to use too much of this stuff to do the crafting because I feel like it's taken away from what I need for the truck. So I'm going to take a quick little break here. I'm going to read through what I want to craft, and then we'll come back. I'll have a good picture of what we're going to be putting on the board. So really, kind of after looking through what I have as far as scavenged components and such, I don't want to take away the stuff that I know I'm going to need for fixing the truck. I don't feel too concerned at this point because of where the zombies are at. To have to craft too much like special stuff like lookout towers or walls or scrap traps. So what I've gone ahead and decided to do is I'm just going to use my 2 guys that I have for crafting. We're just going to make sandbags. Let's go ahead and let's build our action pool for our 2 salvage guys right here. So it's going to be 4 dice total. Okay. So we have a 6, 5, and 2 2s. So for our first one on the orange squad, that is Marcelina. She can do 2. She can allocate 2 dice, and number 3 on the blue squad is Dave Marcus. He can allocate only 1 dice. So we're going to kind of see where that's best going to be allocated. Let's just go ahead. This 2 dice we're going to put on Marcelina. She can do 2 because, oh, she actually has a mechanics +1. So she could do 3 dice for that. So she can do 3, 4, 5, 6, and then for our, what is that, number 3, Dave Marcus, since he can only do 1, he can allocate that for 2 action points. So Like I said, 3, 4, 5, 6 sandbags, and the 2 over there is going to give us 7 sandbags. I don't think we're going to need that many sandbags, but we'll go ahead and use what we got. So I'm going to go ahead and swing over here real quick, and we'll place those sandbags. I don't even think I have enough tokens. Hell, I don't even have enough tokens for that. That's whatever. Alright, we'll put a sandbag there. We will put a sandbag anywhere else that does not have an arduous terrain space inside the house. That's really it. I can't... Oh, here we go. Alright, I would say officially at this point in the house, all the open spaces now have arduous terrain. So that was our crafting. As uneventful as that was our crafting. No victory points are gained for building. And so let's move on to guard. Alright, we have 2 people on guard, and for every person we have on that, it's going to reduce the doom track by 1, so it's going to go to 6 and then 5. So we've moved it all the way back to 5, which means during the night phase we're only going to be spawning in 5 zombies. No mutant, because we've already activated that space for a mutant zombie. And really there's nobody resting, so that pretty much finishes us out for the part of the morning phase. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the afternoon phase, in which we're feeding everybody. And the first thing we need to do is make sure that for every survivor that has the radiation or the biohazard symbol is going to lose 1 health for each token they have. Alright, so let's go ahead and do that first. We have a few people that are in that condition. Alright, we have Marcelina. She's supposed to be at a 6. For some reason my stuff... These get bumped very, very easily. You gotta be careful about that. She has 1 token, and so that's gonna go to 5. Maybe this goes away now? I don't know. I'll have to look that up. Alright, Teresa Von Shen is supposed to be at an 8. Since she has 1, she goes down to 7. We have Summer up here that is at supposed to be at a 7, so she goes down to 6. And Kenny is at a 6, so he'll go down to 5. Alright, so that's pretty much taking care of everybody that had the radiation symbol. I'm going to look that up and see if that token goes away. That would... I don't really see any other way to take those tokens off, and like there's maybe a heal or something like that. So, or one of these, maybe a resource card that takes it off. I'm not 100% sure. Okay, so that's finished. Now we need to feed, okay? And we have some choices here, and I'm going to take I want to look through these cards real quick. I'll explain exactly what I do with all the food and everything that I have and how I'm going to divvy that all out. And when we come back, I don't want to take too long on this process. So let me figure out how best we're going to feed our troops. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with the orange squad, and we're going to feed them. We are going to use this raw food, and we are going to feed it to Erica. Okay, Erica is a carnivore. She can eat raw meat without gaining radiation and treat food as if it were canned vegetables, and she doesn't or just canned food, I guess. Okay, so she's going to eat that one. We're going to use the frying pan. I may feed 2 survivors with 1 food. Okay, so the frying pan is going to feed these 2 survivors using this raw food. Alright, so Erica is going to use it, and Frank the Tank is going to use it. Now, she doesn't get any ill effects from the raw food with the biohazard here, but Frank the Tank is, because this is going to apply to both of them for the raw food. Alright, so they're going to get the token there. So Frank the Tank now has a radiation symbol. And I looked these up. You don't lose these. These are going to stay with you for the rest of the game unless you can find a way to cure them off. Alright, so far we have Frank the Tank and Erica have eaten. Next, I am going to use I'm going to apply I'm going to use preserved food, which feeds 1 survivor. However, Teresa Von Shen is a cook, so once per day I may feed 2 survivors with 1 food, apply the food effects to both, okay? So I'm going to use this canned food to feed both of the Marcelina and Teresa Von Shen. So now everybody's been fed an orange, so now we'll move on to blue. Blue's a little bit easier to handle than orange was. They have just what I needed, which is feed all survivors in my squad, and those survivors each gain 1 health. Wow, that's real nice. So everybody's going to go 1 health up on their stuff here. Okay, this one's supposed to be at 7. So it's 8. Alright, and there was one other thing I noticed when I was going through here and reading these. By the way, these are going to be discarded because they have been used up. Looks like one of my guys did complete his thing here. Let me find it here. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, it was Summer, because remember we successfully completed a challenge in the South Scavenging Zone. Alright, so Summer here is in the blue squad. So we're going to go ahead and move over here, and they're going to get 2 victory points for that completion. 1, 2. So they're all the way at 4. They're actually doing really well. And Summer is survivor number 2. So, I guess I already flipped it over for some reason. Oh, no, I'm sorry. She's number 2 in the blue squad. So we're going to flip her token over so it shows the stars now. So those have all completed their objectives and got the victory points for those. So that is good. Now that we've fed everybody and discarded our food, we will now move into the next part, which is our neighborhood meeting. For the neighborhood meeting, we are going to be deciding who is up next to run the squad. This is actually going to take place at night, and we'll see who's going to be getting first turn. Usually, you kind of fight over this. You can add stuff for the greater good, is what they call it. If I add some components in like food to increase my victory points or items, then that would all go into the public stash. I don't have anything in the public stash because I haven't added anything to it, but this is where that would actually come in. Okay, so when we're doing a neighborhood meeting, this is going to be a contest, and the player who was last, which is the orange squad, is going to pick one, I'm trying to think of the right word, like trait, whether it be weapons, firearms, talking, so forth. They're going to pick one trait that they're going to want to contest with. Alright, so looking here, 4 here is our highest stat. It's a melee stat of 4. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and build our dice pool for the orange squad. So 2, 4, 6, 8. That'll be 8 dice total, and see what we get. Okay. All my red dice. Alright. So 2 5s and 2 4s. These are going to be my highest dice. Okay, so those are going to be going to Frank the Tank, and that's let's just say that's 18. He got 18 on that because he can use all 4 of those dice. Now, Blue Squad is going to try to contest that to see if they can hold on to their first player place, and they're going to have to pick somebody to take this test that can try to compete with that. Now, Summer, I don't think they can, because the highest person that we have is going to be they're both Summer and Kenny are at a 3 for theirs. Oh no! Dave Marcus, look at this. He has a 5 in his melee combat, so he's going to be able to apply 5 dice to beat an 18. This is interesting. All right, so we're going to roll all these dice and see if we can beat an 18 with 5 dice. Alright, looks like we can. We got 2 5s, 2 4s, and our next dice we'll be able to use as a 3. So, and it looks like we got 21. So he beat that that roll or that contest. So that means that the blue player is going to be continuing on with being the first player for this round. Alright, so before we go into the night round, we need to make sure that we are good to go with what we're carrying here. Meaning that we can only have, since I have 4 survivors on each squad, they can be carrying a total of 4 items, or yeah, 4 items up here, 1 per survivor, and 4 carrying items in what they're actually carrying around with them. So let's make sure that we have the right stuff in there. See, I only have 4 things in there, so we can be carrying everything here without a problem. And, well, if I go to search anything, that might be a problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the lighter in my stash, since it's a crafting. This is smokes, requires a lighter, counts as food. Interesting. I'll put that in my stash. There's nothing it can do for me out there. Parts and food, I will put all that in my stash. There is no reason for me to carry that around, so that means I'm fully open here. All these cards for my blue, just what I needed. That's interesting because that's like an ammo card. It could be any one of those. So I'm going to keep that in my carrying. I'm going to put ammo in my carrying, even though I don't have anything that... Ooh, this one's medicine. Choose 1 survivor, heal 2, then remove all biohazard from that survivor. Ooh, nice. I'll keep that as carrying. So now I'm carrying 3 items, and that's all I'm going to do. I do duct tape, gain armor equal. Alright, so I have blue squad. I found these are very nice items to actually have. There may be a reason to have those ammos, and that would be something to look at here. I could switch out the one of the weapons that the heroes has to do... Okay, so this is interesting. This is a melee weapon, okay? But we still roll blue dice. Like, I guess you can roll out of... Oh, maybe that's what it means. Breakable. If you roll a click, discard this weapon and draw 2 scrap from the item deck. You may also choose to break this weapon at any time. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Sneak attack. Deal a damage to a single target equal to the survivor's sight. Range 1. Roll a click dice. Prerequisite 3. So you deal an automatic 2. Anyway, so this one has a range of 2. AP 4. Let's change it out for one of our guys who has pretty good melee here. We will do it with Dave Marcus. So we're going to change out this shovel, put that in my stashed, and we'll put the katana there with Dave Marcus since he's really, really good at melee. And I think at this point, everybody should be ready to go. Everybody should be set to go into our night phase. We've taken care of the neighborhood meeting. And really, what is left? I think that is all before we go into the night meet or the night phase, which we're actually going to start spawning our zombies on the board. So we'll go right into that, making sure that I've taken care of everything, and we'll start the night phase for day 2. So let's go ahead and switch all these people over to their night side here, keeping their tokens with them. And at this point we need to, I guess we can pull all of our tokens back in here, since they're no longer needed on the squad board. 2, 1, 3, 4. Now we need to reset their defense wheel. So we have 4, 1, 2, 2, so 8, 9. Alright. And here for this squad, we've Get them ready to go. Okay, so they are 2, 2, 4, so that's 8, 9, 10. Okay, they should be ready to go. Alright, now that we've got them fully set over here, we'll swing it around over here and go ahead and get our zombies spawned. Remember that we are at 5, so we're only bringing in 5 zombies, fresh, no mutates. Okay, so 3, 4, 5. Remember, we start at the north zone first. And then we go to east. And then south. And then west. And then back up to north again. And they can occupy 1, 2, and 1 space. Okay, so for the Horde card, this is the only thing we're going to be facing. We are starting round 1. I think everything is good and set there. We're going to be placing our 2 guys where it's going to be best suited for them to take some actions. Blue player is going to be going first, so I'd really like to try to take down that squad of 2 zombies over there. I think it can be done fairly easily with blue, maybe, with all the melee they have, and then use orange there. I think those are going to be my 2 best placements to take care of them. So that's where we're going to start. So I think we should be good to go. Now that takes care of our dusk step, and that is all we have to do there. Now we start the midnight step, and what we're going to do is we start with the first player, and he's going to take his turn. All right, we're going to hopefully remember this time, or I am hopefully going to remember this time, that survivors cannot move more than their speed limits. I apologize about that big time. All right, so our first player is going to be blue. And he is going to roll his dice pool, so we're going to go over here real quick and see what we're going to do. Remember, he's got 4 people in his squad, so he's got a total of 8 dice for his action pool. Okay, he got a 6, 2 5s, he got a 4, 3 2s, and a 1. Okay, so this is the action pool that we have for the blue squad. So here's what I've chosen. I've already gone ahead and moved all my dice over. For the blue squad and everything I rolled, we're going to use a 5 for their movement, because that's the max that they can go. That is our speed limit of 5. So we're going to move 5 spaces, and then we'll be done with movement. We'll use our 6 here for the golf club. We'll use our 5 for the frying pan. 2 dice for the sword here, and he can use up to 5, so he's definitely good there. And then the 2 dice for 5, 6 for the shovel, and he can use 3 dice here. Okay, which everybody should be good to go, and that's going to give us 1, 2, 3, 4 damage. Okay, so if we move back over here, the first thing we're going to do is move with the blue squad. We're going to go 1, 2 because of the hazard space, and then 3, 4, 5, putting us right adjacent to the 2 fresh zombies there. And remember, the first one is the golf club, second one frying pan, third is the katana here. I will need to roll a blue dice for that one. And the shovel, which will be our final point of damage of, I'm trying to think here, final point of damage for the zombies. Okay, so this has to be rolled a click, and then we're going to see if we actually have to discard this one. It's going to be kind of crappy if we do. Alright, we did not roll a click, I rolled a 3. So none of these are discarded. So again, that's 4 points of damage. Okay, so if we swing here. So first point of damage would have taken this to fresh. Second point of damage would have killed it. That moves the blue squad up 1 on the chart here. So they're leveled up. The third point of damage would have brought this to a weak zombie. And then the fourth point would have killed it. So again, they're going to advance to the 6. And they are completely and utterly done. They have no more available actions to them. So that's going to finish the turn out for blue. And then we swing over to orange. And we see what we can do. We're going to get the same amount of dice. We're going to get 8 dice because we have 4 people in the squad. So we'll roll that and see what our dice pool is. Not great. We got 4 5s. I guess that's pretty good. We got 3 2s and a 1. So this is what we have to deal with, and we'll see where we can best place those. Alright, so this is what I've gone with on the orange squad here. As we're going to use 2 dice for 4 points of movement. We are then going to use the golf club for 1 point of damage and the stop sign for 2nd point of damage after dropping cards on the floor. And then I'm going to use Teresa von Shen's special Scrounger ability for 4 action points to draw a random food or resource card usable once per night. Okay, so let's start with our 4 movement, see where that gets us. Okay, so we're going to go 1 2 because of the arduous terrain. 3 4. We're staying out of range of this zombie here for melee range because I don't really want to go any further. But if you remember, the golf club we have can reach out for 2 range, and the stop sign we have can also reach out for 2 range. I'll go ahead and use the Scrounger card, or the Scrounger for 4. I want to go ahead and pick up a random resource card and see what we have there. Okay, we get wood. Alright, so we're going to put that into our carrying, because we can't really add it to our stash right now because we're too far away from it. Alright, so remember we have 2 points of damage to put on this zombie, so there's really nothing we have to do. First point takes it to fresh, second point kills it. So orange is going to move up 1 space. They only killed 1 zombie. Or no, they're going to move up 2 spaces. 1 for the fresh kill, and then another one for the kill for the weak zombie. Alright, they have some leftover action points, but again, we're not going to overspend in movement. Actually, we can, because they moved 1 2 3 4. They have a speed limit of 5. We can still move 1 point. So we'll just use this 5 here. And kind of burn that as our last point of movement. And we're going to move diagonal here on our way to getting this zombie right there. Alright, so after we finish with the 2 turns, blue and orange, it moves straight into the turn of the zombies. And we start with this one here. It doesn't matter which one we start with, but we're going to start with this one here, and then we see, can she trace line of sight directly to orange? Well, I have my little tracer here, and we always see we go from the middle of the space that they're in to the middle of the space that we're going to. And as you can see, that does not trace line of sight because this is blocking it right here. Okay, so if the zombie can't see where they're going, like they can't see any humans or anything, they're going to go straight up towards the public stash, okay, upstairs. So this one's going to move 1 2 3, and that's where it's going to end its movement because it can't go any further. This one here we'll trace and see if we have a direct line of sight to the blue survivors. We do. They can see the blue survivors up there, and there's nothing impeding their vision. So what they're going to do is they're just going to move diagonal and go 1 2 3, and they're going to be heading for the blue squad there. Okay, so that's going to finish our first round, or our first night, and I'll go ahead and move this over, if you can see. So we're going to be starting our second round of combat. And blue is going to be who we start there. So we kind of need to see what we're going to do. Blue, the max range of weapons they have is going to be 2 spaces. So if we want to get over to this one, we need to make sure we at least get a movement over here, avoiding all of these nasty paths here, which is going to be like 1, 2, 3, 4. That's really as far as we need to get, because we can have range of 1, 2 to get her without any trouble. Alright, so let's go ahead and roll their action pool here. There's really not much happening since we spawned so few zombies. I'm sure we'll have some open turns. Not that great, but I think we should have enough to do what we need. 2 5s, 4, 2 2s, a 3, and a 1. Alright, we'll make this pretty simple. We'll use, let's see, a 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all we need to move, or for movement for blue. So we're going to add those over there to them. Next, we only need 2 points of damage because we're going to be fighting this fresh zombie here. So we know we need our something that's in 2 ranges. So we need a 6 and another 6. So we could use this 4 here and the 3 to make it a 7 for the shovel. We can use the 5 and the 1 to make it a 6 for the golf club. And remember, he can use up to 3 dice, so he's good. He can use up to 3 dice, so he is good as well. And that leaves us a little bit left over. And remember, our speed limit is 5 for this group, but we're only moving 1, 2, 3 to get there. So I guess I could have used a different one than that. It doesn't matter. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I guess I didn't have to really burn that much. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, and we're 1, 2 away from this one. So both of our weapons there have ample space to get to him or her, whatever. So first point of damage takes it to a weak. Second point of damage kills it. So the blue squad is going to move up 1, 2, so they're now at 8. They have still some movement points left because they did not spend all of they haven't gone their full speed yet. Trying to think of where it might be advantageous for me to be at the end of this mission, because I might want to do some searching for some stuff. All the search places I can find on the board as of right now are right in a space that has a biohazard on them, like this one, this one here, which I'm right next to, but I think I have to be in the same space. This one. Now, here are some interesting ones, because the little search symbol here indicates that they're on the line. They're not actually on the inside of the square. So, unlike this one, which is on the inside of the square, I think that all I have to be is right here. I can either be on this space or this space right here, since this one is not in the middle of the square. That's my assumption anyway, because all the other ones, like this one, they're all inside the square. They're not on the actual line. So I might want to try to make my move over this way and do some searching with blue and see what we can dig up. So blue only moved 3, so they still have 2 more points of movement left, so I'm going to use that last dice of 5 to go ahead and move them 1, 2 over that way, and that'll finish out the blue's turn completely. So next we have orange, and of course orange is going to want to try to make their way over here. They're actually in a little better position because they have a gun that they might be able to fire to make it over there. Because this one is right now, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm trying to skirt around this little biohazard here. Let me see about my best path to try to get to this one, or if I could kind of like get into the house and meet it. That might be a better solution. Just kind of let this one through. So let me think about that. So in all reality, there's not a whole lot that orange can do besides possibly move and try to keep this one from entering the house. So, I mean, we'll go ahead and roll the dice, but like I said, there's really not a whole lot they're going to spend their turn doing because he's trying to set himself up to lure this one over here. So orange, it's 8 dice. We're really only going to use one of those dice. I didn't roll this one. They're going to go, we already know I want them to go 1, 2, 3 here. So 1, 2, 3, which means we burned, any one of those for dice. It really didn't matter. And there were really no other dice that we can spend for anything. I'm trying to avoid using my pistol to shoot this one because I don't want to run out of ammo. I don't really see a need. So I'm going to say, just going to move for now and be done with it and go ahead and forfeit any other parts of my turn and then let it go to the zombie's turn. We only have one on the board, so at time of tracing line of sight, sees our heroes, survivors over here, so they're going to move 1, 2, 3. They're going to be just out of reach for 2 spaces, but they should be in good reach for me when I actually start the next turn. Okay, so we finished round 2, so now we're going to be starting round 3. First one that goes blue. We know we need to try to get them, I'd like to get them over here, hopefully by round 5, so if we move them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we skirted all the radiation symbols and hopefully get there by round 5 so we can get that done. So again, I just need to roll for blue squad so we can move them. So I just need a 5, which obviously I got, which was a 6 here. There's no other things that any one of these people can use that's going to help us out at all. None of these things that can help us out. So really, so they're just going to move. So blue's going to move. Their total max of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we've, like I said, skirted all the little bad symbols there, so we're not hurting. Next is going to be orange. Now we can actually do some fighting, so let's go ahead and roll our dice pool. Okay, so 2, 4, 6, 8. Uh-oh. Okay. We're on 8. So we got a 6, 2 5s, a 4, 2 3s, and 2 1s. Okay, so we do have some options here. We really only need 2 damage to take this one down for the golf club and the stop sign. So the golf club is going to need 6, so we can use a 5 and a 6 here. Stop sign is going to need a 6, so 5 and a 6, or 5 and a 1, which makes it 6. I guess you'll see that over there. We'll go ahead and add those 2. This one will go to the golf club. This one will go to the stop sign. Again, both people can wield more than 2 dice for that one, so that's good. So that gives us the damage we need to kill the zombie. Okay, so we're going to just go over here and say first damage weak, second damage was a kill. So orange is going to move up 2, 1, 2 on the board. The only thing left for them that I want them to do is really I'm going to move up and try to see if I can get a search with them for the last turn, which I think I can. So we're just going to spend a dice. It doesn't matter. 5 is our max, so we'll use this 6 on movement. And then we're going to move them straight up here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's going to finish out this last, not the last round, but it's going to finish out round 3. So now we're starting round 4. Blue needs to move, and so they're starting out the round. Okay, so we're going to roll their dice pool. Okay, not bad. I don't think we needed that much, but still good. 2 6s, 2 5s, a 3, a 2, and 2 1s. Okay, so first we'll know we need to get at least 1 point of movement to get here. So we'll use this one for the movement. That way we still have some left over when we're done. And I've actually never searched before. So let me look that up and make sure we're doing it right. So here is how this is going to work. Alright, so once we made it to our space with the number 1, that's the 1 dice we're spinning here for movement. I'll add that to the blue movement here. So that gets us on the space right here next to this little search symbol. Okay. This one is search food. Okay, so this one's going to give us food over here. Alright, now we need to allocate a single die for the searching. Okay, and whatever number that is on the die that we allocate is how many cards that we can draw from the search pile and search for the one that we want. So, in that regard, we can only use 1 die, so I'm going to use a 6 here. Okay, so this is what we're using on our search action. So I can draw 6 cards from the food stack here. This is my discard pile. Alright, so I'm going to take the first 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. We have radiated food, raw, rad food, preserved food, raw food, and rad food. Well, of course, I'm going to take the preserved food. It's 1. And these are going to get shuffled up randomly. And they're going to be put on the bottom of the food deck. Okay, so this is going to go into my carried items for the blue squad. Alright, so now we have a little issue, which I've run into. I am currently at capacity with this preserved food. I already had 4 items, which means I'm encumbered here. So we're going to have to do something. I can discard something here that I don't think will be what I need. I tell you what. I'm going to go ahead, I might regret this later on, but, or I could go ahead and discard it to gain armor equal to my squad's highest. It doesn't matter, I don't even need it this round anyway. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's discard this resource. So I'm going to put this in the discard pile, thus keeping my preserved food in my carried items. So now I'm not encumbered anymore and I don't have to worry about dropping any stashes, because I'd rather have the food right now because I am really hurting on food. Alright, so next, what we're going to have to do is bring out our tokens here. Alright, dang it. Alright, so we're going to just random draw. Holy moly, look at that. 3 zombies, that's what that is. Alright, so that's going to go there on this space. We need to spawn 3 weak zombies. Okay, and I can choose how to do these as long as they're adjacent. So we can go 1, 2, and 3. All are adjacent to that search space. So, I have some killing to do. Luckily, I have some choices. Still. Alright, so we used the 6 for searching. We've used the 1 for movement. I need to do 3 points of damage to those 3 zombies over there. So, let's start breaking out some hits here. Frying pan is 5. We can use the 5 here on that one. We can use the golf club for 6. And we just need another 6 over here. So 3, 4, 5, 6. He can use 3 dice on a melee. So he can do that. And that is our 3 points of damage we need for fighting those 3 zombies over there. So really, 1, 2, 3 are out. And that brings the squad board here. 1, 2, 3. He's past 10. So he's going to get 2 perks. He's going to get to level up twice for this round. And that's really all blue can do. They can move again if they want. This cannot be searched anymore. I could, if I come onto that space, I'm going to get hit with that one. I don't want to get hit there. The only way I'd really be able to search this one is if I really can't. I don't want to get hit with any radiation, so really at this point, I'm going to go ahead and again concede the night that we finished out because there's nothing we can do. I don't want to move these anymore. I don't want to take anything else anywhere. So we're going to say at this point we have whittled the night all the way down. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up our other phases real quick for the night. And let's go read those real quick. Okay, we're going to remove all zombies from the board. We don't have any that are left. So we're not increasing the doom track at all from the 5 that it was on, since nothing was on there to move that up. And for each player that reached a milestone, we move to the level up phase. Okay, so that's all we have left. We're just going to be doing some level up nows. We'll start with the blue, since they have 2 that they're going to need to resolve. So we'll just kind of split these here and shuffle them up a little bit more. Alright, so we have 3 cards. That's 1 for each person playing, and +1. Okay. Okay, we have a skill, another skill, and a mutation. Nobody has a radiation symbol in the blue squad, so the mutation one pretty much is unusable. So we can either give somebody a talk +1 or a first aid +1. Okay. I like the idea of the first aid +1 on Marcus, but he's already got a first aid +1, which is the same thing. Yeah. So that'll make him all right for first aid, but we can also give somebody +1 talk. The thing is Kenny and Summer still have head wounds, and they're -1 talk. So if I put on a +1 talk, that'll kind of bring them to where they should be for this. So let's go ahead and give them let's give Kenny a +1 on his talking. That way it kind of brings him back to where he should be. Alright, now we'll replace that card. We have another talk. And blue again is our next upgrade. Or I don't know, does it go to the next person again? Let's look at the level up phase. I want to make sure that I'm doing this fairly. Alright, whenever a player passes milestone, will be a level up phase. Reveal cards from the top. Following the turn order, each player who passed a milestone, the Doom Tack, in the previous phase will have an option to select a perk. It is immediately assigned to one of those players. Replace the chosen perk card, and the next player makes his choice. Alright. So what we're going to do is, instead of saying blue gets to do 2 upgrades at once, we're going to go to the orange squad, which only gets 1 perk. And so these are our choices here. We can't use the mutation, so it's either going to be a talk or a first aid. Okay, so I'm going to bring this over here real quick to be a little easier to see them. I'm going to shift that around each time. +1 talk or +1 first aid. Marcelina has no first aid. Frank does not have any first aid, nor Erica. I'm thinking first aid is really probably needed in this area here. Teresa's pretty good with hers, but nobody else has any first aid, so taking them out on scrounging may be a problem. So, talk is okay. So let's take the first aid. Let's do that, and let's put it on. Let's put it on Frank the Tank. Maybe we'll just, instead of the big old brute, he can help some people out. Alright, so we're going to replace that card that we used, and then we're going to move back to the blue team. Well,
really doesn't matter because we can't use any of the mutations. So the skill, the talk +1, guess who we're going to give that to? We're going to give it to Summer. That way, both of the head wounds that her and Kenny have are completely canceled out now. Alright, so that completes our day 2 phase. We're all done with it, and we're ready to move into the day number 3 here, which is where we're at. And these two guys that we're going to reset our XP track, and the zombies are going to stay, the Doom track is going to stay right where it is. These two things are going to go back. And then we're going to see what we're going to be doing in day 3. So, yeah, stick around, and we'll go into that. And like I said, if you guys notice any mistakes I made, please let me know up on the comment section, and we'll get those addressed as soon as possible, hopefully before continue on to make that mistake. And let me know if you have any other comments about the game or anything like that. Just put those comments out there, and I'll get to them as soon as I can. So again, I hope you're enjoying, and hope this is making sense to you. We're kind of flying through this a little bit faster than we did before, just because we've already gone through it once. So, all right, day 3 is coming up shortly.